Hi there, Christina Mendonsa here once again for my Mendonsa Media subscribers for the August newsletter. This is where I share some of the things from academia or new authors or just new thinking when it comes to communications and leadership. So thanks for being here. This time I want to dig into resilience. There's a new book that I just picked up. I haven't cracked it yet, but it's from a guy named John Eldredge. It's called Resilience, and it has to do with the fact that the pandemic really drained our batteries. I mean, that's why you're seeing the great resignation and you're seeing so many of the things that are happening now. People are just tired. They're not feeling their resiliency stores are shot. And so we all have to try to get those back. And one of the things that happens when you're a little down on your resilience, and maybe it's not you, but maybe it's people that are working with you or for you, one of the things that happens is we're up late at night. Our sleep is disturbed. We have all of these intrusive thoughts. We have problems that we're trying to solve that our brain needs to work on subconsciously, but you can't get to sleep. I know I've had nights like that where I have so many things going on that I can't shut my brain off in order to get some sleep. So I've got 3 tips to help you relax and get clarity and help you be your best creative self. Now, the first tip comes from the University of Michigan. It's a neuroscientist named Ethan Kross. And he talks about this in his new book. It's called Chatter. And that's about the evolutionary reasons why we have that internal dialogue or monologue going on all the time, and our thoughts can become cluttered. And he goes into the physical part of that. You can read the book if you're interested in that. I'm more interested in the mental help that you can get to relieve yourself from this. So one of the tips that he talks about is called distanced self-talk. So when you're thinking to yourself, what am I going to do? What decision am I going to make? How am I going to make this work? Instead of using I, remove I and replace it with something. What would my mentor do in this situation? What would my father do in this situation? What would Batman do? And by removing yourself out of it, you are basically giving yourself advice. Language provides us this tool of coaching ourselves through our problems just by switching out that word, taking I out and inserting someone you admire, a friend, a leader that's close to you. And that will help you get clarity and give yourself the advice you need to make the proper decision. The second thing that you can do to help clear your mind is something called Shinrin Yoku. Shinrin is the Japanese word for forest. Yoku is the Japanese word for bathing, forest bathing. There are books that have been written about this, but it's basically get outside, get outdoors. That can really help you with clarity. Take a walk, and you don't have to incorporate a ton of this into your life. You can do it 2 hours a week, which is like 20 minutes a day. And of course, physically, it's going to give you all sorts of benefits, lower your blood sugar, help with your fitness, all of that. But it also enhances memory retention and mental regulation. And this helps you in your problem solving. This helps quiet your mind so that you can get clarity to make the decisions that you need. I know my husband and I, we take a walk every night after dinner. It's usually about 45 to 60 minutes, and we do it every single night, rain or shine. And it really has helped us in difficult times in our lives solve problems. We talk about the fact that we have worn out trails around our home, working out our issues and working out things that we're struggling with as we take these walks. Sometimes it's just a great time to catch up and exchange, what happened during our day. But it's a tradition that we have incorporated, and I have found it personally helpful, and there is actually science behind it as well. The third thing is something that I learned from my good friend, Dr. Anthony White, and you can follow him on social media. I think he's most active on Instagram, does some TikToking as well. And he he counsels people, and he talks about a breathing technique that he uses for people who are feeling overwhelmed, who have that internal chatter. And it's a breathing exercise, very easy. You breathe in, and as you're breathing in, you're thinking about all of the toxic things that you're dealing with. You think about the decisions you have to make, all of the anxiety and pressure, and then you breathe out, and you breathe all of that stuff out. But at the same time, mentally, you think about making space, make openness, making space to be able to make a decision or clear your mind to be able to think. And this is very easy. It's a simple technique. You can do it several times a day, taking a moment. And it really promotes mindfulness, which is very important when you're trying to get creative, a clarity of thought. And it promotes being in the moment, which is, mindfulness. So those are my best three tips to try to quiet all of the clutter that's going on in your mind. You can do that last one, that breathing exercise, again, any time a day, several times a day, or right before bed as you need. Okay, those are my big three tips. You can always reach out to me at mendonsamedia.com or Christina at mendonsamedia.com. I hope you'll check out my Power Profile podcast and the Power Profile project, which is something new and pretty exciting that I'm working on. Again, that's mendonsamedia.com. Thanks so much for being here. We'll talk to you next month.